ILRT, in theory, should run away with it. How do you think they're going to get on track tonight?
I think it might be more of the same, to be honest, because as a team as a whole, ILRT were a pretty dominant force last time out. So I can't imagine really anything happening. But the fight for second at the moment between the other teams is incredibly tight. I think it's 14 points covering the next 4 teams. So any one of those can come out in second. It's going to be interesting to see which one of those comes out on top in second, and whether anyone can catch LRT at this point. God, I tend to say it on a Wednesday night, can't you? I can't get more words out.
Well, Inside Line Racing Team are leading on 124 points, and as I say, it is a 40-point gap, but the gap, as you say, 14 points separating second down to the bottom second on 84 points. Livid in third on 81. Now, I thought they would be second, to be honest. TTG Esports main team in fourth on 74, and PMP Esports in fifth on 70. It's really close. I can't believe how close it is.
Incredibly close, and just watching the racing last time out, all the teams were very evenly matched. I think ILRT were just more consistent. I definitely noticed in last week's racing that TTG were not necessarily very competitive in Australia, much more competitive in Spain, and then it was the opposite way around for other teams like LR. So it's going to be interesting to see who can keep that consistency through these 2 races.
Yeah, obviously. Let's have a look then at the drivers that are going on here tonight, and the ones out of the lobby, of course. ILRT represented. I did see his name by ILRT Louis. I'm just going to run down through the lobby so you can really see on who's here. ILRT Thomas, ILRT Yanel, ILRT Louis, and one mystery driver that will join, I think, for ILRT. Hopefully they will be a complement of 4 drivers. I have a feeling it could be Rafa. I have a feeling, but that's just my gut instinct on that. QVR represented in the blue car, obviously, very familiar coloured car to pick out on, and you'll probably know which as well. QVR are represented by Cohen, Campbell, Verstappen, and looking through the other driver, has QVR got a 4th driver? Yes, they have. You drop Ye in the QVR team as well. Vaporon, Toxic, winner of TTLF2 last night. Navy, and looking down, is there another driver in here for TTG? I can't see. Am I blind as a bat? I don't know who I think TTG might be missing another driver. I'm not sure. Can you pick up on who that is?
Just trying to double check actually who the TTG driver is, to be honest. Just having a look actually.
Carlsbury. It's Carlsbury.
There we go.
Just having a look at my sheet on the right-hand side. Goodness me. You can tell how unprepared I am for this, being stepped into the breach quite late on. Carlsbury is the other representative of the esports team, and thank you if somebody has picked that up before me in the comment section. Livid Racing are represented further down. Let's have a look at who they're represented by. Calzo, the Scotsman. Ghost, who is part of League of Europe Formula 2. LR Hugo, and Deneen, the Irishman, the prolific Irishman, actually, and I've commented on him plenty of times before, like most of these guys as well. And PMP, represented by Terror Racer, Geordie, another Scotsman out on track. We've got quite a few of them tonight. Ginger, and looking through Kaz Crazy, I'm just going to call him. My pronunciation might be quite bad at that. Kazui? Crazy?
We just called him Kaz last week. We're going to stick with Kaz, I think.
We'll call him Kaz. You can tell that pronunciation isn't really our strong point, I think, within the commentary box. But looking at that driver lineup, honestly, what's your expectation coming into tonight? We should get some good racing.
Absolutely, yeah. I think we're on for some really good racing. By the looks of it, everyone's readying up, so I believe we will be down an ILRT member by the looks of things, which is a bit of a shock considering that they're in the lead. I'd be shocked that they wouldn't want another member in the lobby to try and help them build that lead, and that's a good opportunity for the other teams to try and catch back up now that they're one team down.
They are one team member down, but I think the consistency of the ILRT team, normally they're right up towards the top end of the grid anyways with their drivers. I think it will get them through to win Mini League 1 here tonight, but you never know.
Curse.
Yeah, commentator's curse. Knowing that I've said that, touch wood it doesn't happen. But the ILRT team, I've commentated on ILRT Louis, who's been in tremendous form in League of Europe. Thomas as well, who's been in tremendous form in TTL F1, and you might have seen him racing last Thursday. And ILRT Janel, who I'm not that familiar with, but again, he's another pacey driver. And I just think ILRT just might have that advantage with those three drivers. No disrespect to the other teams whatsoever. I just think they might be that type consistent. And isn't that a sight you like to see? Blue skies in Britain? You must be kidding. It's spring.
Unrealistic. Unbelievably unrealistic this is, isn't it?
Unbelievably unrealistic. I've got to be honest and say I haven't been that happy to see blue skies, but my God, it's blue skies. It's Silverstone. This should be quite good. I'm going to push it. What I normally do with these mini leagues is push for top three. Who's your top three out of the drivers tonight?
Out of the drivers tonight, I think qualifying-wise, I think we've got to go for Louis on pole. He's just such a dominant force. I wouldn't be surprised if he's up at the front. I think alongside Louis, that's a difficult one. I think Thomas showed really good pace, so I think he may come home second in qualifying today. Third, I'm going to go for Vapor on third.
Through turn one, through Abbey, and then into Farm, and he's right up there with the QVR guys currently out on track as we now filter through the loop into Village and then into All Daintree at turn 5. And yes, I do know my way around this track completely. Cohen running down the Wellington Straight, where of course the Grand Prix track intersects with that international circuit. There are 3 different tracks of course at Silverstone, and through the first sector at 27.2 from Cohen, so he's currently in 9th as he comes through Brooklands and then into Luffield. Very tricky corner, very high second gear. Normally some of the drivers take a very low third through there. Now through Woodcote at turn 8, and we're onto the All Pit Straight on the right hand side. Pretty much halfway through the lap as we go through the Old turn 1 at Cops, taking it nearly flat out, just missing the apex slightly there. Cohen, ILRT Louis, Ginger, Thomas, Toxic well up there currently. Now through Maggots and Beckett's with Cohen, the Dutchman, flying through Maggots, then into Beckett's, and then on towards the Hanger Straight. And this is looking like a very neat lap from Cohen. Just has a little bit of an opposite loft moment coming out of the onto the Hanger Straight. It's a 103 flat through the middle sector. Of course, all drivers on a set of soft compound of tyres. Cohen now through Stowe. This is looking pretty good, I've got to say. He is jumping up the order quite considerably. ILRT Louis though looks like he could take this one out on track. Cohen now through Vale and into Club, and then into the final corner, turn 18, and it's ILRT Louis with a 25.9.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow, really, really good lap. I was on board with TCG Toxic during that lap. He made a massive mistake in the final sector and dropped from a top 5 all the way down to P18, so a really, really awful end to qualifying for him. But wow, 3 tenths clear, well, basically 4 tenths clear of his ILRT teammate, and I would like to say congratulations to me for predicting the top 2 correctly.
Well done to you. Well done to you.
Just about by 8 thousandths of a second, but yeah, Louis, once again, a really dominant qualifying form as well.
Yeah, fantastic from ILRT Louis. ILRT Thomas in second, and ILRT 1-2. We've got Ginger in third, Calzo and Hugo for LR in fourth and fifth, Kaz in sixth with Vapor on Campbell, Cohen and Carlsbury rounding off the top 10. Interesting, the top 13 less than a second separating Verstappen, Dropyear, Terror Racer, Navy, Ghost, Deneen, Janel, Toxic not setting a time, and Yordi getting a disqualification because of an invalidated lap. So the Scotsman for the PMP team not going to be, he's going to have to try and hope for a bit of a miracle, I think, from the back of the field. But we are here, of course, at Silverstone. 18 corners then await the drivers out on track. 13 laps in total. How are the strategies going to play out?
I think this is a track that, despite kind of the pressure that it puts on the tyres, it's not a hard track on the tyres, and because of that, I think we're going to see a lot of people actually running quite long on the soft tyres. I think people towards the back probably will start on the mediums and get rid of the mediums relatively early, just because the softs can hold the pace around this track for up to 8 or 9 laps pretty easily. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see more people running longer on the softs than they do on the mediums.
I wouldn't be surprised at that at all. I think the softs normally last around 5, maybe even 6 laps if drivers do want to push out the softs. But on a set of medium compounded tyres, you're looking to probably pit in around lap 8, go on to that set of soft compounded tyre, and there we get to see the first look at the cars. My first look actually at the cars in Mini League 1. And ILRT running with a very traditional white and yellow livery. I've got to say it looks very nice, that. Ginger for the PMP team, let's focus on him. They're running an orange and black livery, similar to what I like to call the... they're running 2 different liveries, I think, PMP. And the first livery looks like the IndyCar, without the blue, the IndyCar of McLaren, I think. PMP Ginger is running. Kaz, I think, is also running a different livery. He's running the pure orange livery there for PMP. TTG running the red and blue, blackish, like red, silver and black, I'm going to call it, livery for TTG. Campbell, well, you can have a look at QVRs yourself because there's no... That's probably the most recognisable car out on track, I think. Campbell with the blue and the white. And, of course, as we look through to the other team, Livid Racing, who I've missed Calzo and Hugo further up, but they're running a very traditional white and red, which reflects their logo quite nicely, actually, as well, out on track. Let's have a look then at the strategies, which is the most important, and everyone's been, I think, quite conservative, to be honest. Softs to mediums, probably the quickest strategy around here, but only 2 on the mediums, Verstappen and Dropier. How do you think those guys will get on in the early stages of the race?
I think pace-wise, Verstappen and Dropier are going to struggle a little bit, but like I said, they may be able to pit relatively early and come out in some clean air. I think Dropier last week was very good at making the alternate strategy work. He unfortunately outqualified outside the top 10 in Spain, I believe. He did a good race on the alternate strategy last time out, so I would not be surprised to see him at the front of the field towards the end of the race.
We're coming now towards the end of the formation lap, through Vale and Club on this formation lap. What I'm going to do is ask you for a top 3 again.
Well, I think I can't really bet against Louis winning this race. I think Louis got this one in the bag unless something crazy happens. I'm going to go for Thomas in second, and then we're going to have an ILRT double podium again. Third, I'm going to go for LR Hugo.
Do you know what? I'll agree with you on that top 3. That's exactly who I was going to pick. Anyways, we're about to get underway. The 5 red lights then are about to go out with a little bit of a shocking camera angle there, but the 5 red lights are about to go out here for Mini League 1, round 3. Is underway, and ILRT Louis gets a very good start, but I think Thomas has got a quicker start off the line. Has he got the inside line down towards turn 1? No, he'll play the wingman roll through turn 1. A little bit of a bumping and barging there between Ginger and Calzo. Danina's lost the position, so has Navy, down into the village then for the first time. Oh, and there's a car around in the background. I think that's Vapor on that is round. He's also been caught up. I think Yanel might have been caught up in that as well as Terror Racer, and there's all sorts of carnage going on further down the field. That has split the field pretty much in half early on, and it's side by side between Hugo and Kaz as they run down towards Brooklands for the first time. The PMP driver and the LR driver on the inside, trying to force the line there through Luffield. He just about gets the move done, so Hugo up into 5th position. The Frenchman doing a good job there on the Dutchman, and Kaz currently right on the back of him. Campbell and Dropier have gained positions early on as well. ILRT Louis though leads from Thomas in 2nd, Ginger 3rd, Calzo 4th, Hugo 5th. Let's have a look further down the field. Deneen is on the back of Cohen as we approach Maggots and Beckett, and let's just have a look then at the position changes as Deneen definitely doesn't want to go side by side through there. 2 drivers are going side by side, however, though, with Verstappen and Carlsbury, I think, coming through Maggots and Beckett. Goodness me, and a good run out by Yanel, and the Finn has gone flying past his fellow countryman, so Yanel past Carlsbury, the TTG man, under pressure now from Ghost and Toxic further down the field. Ghost up the inside, trying to make good progress through the field early. Ghost just about to try and pull this one off. Oh, 3 wide and a little bit of a force there. Toxic and Ghost. Ghost has had to recover the car. That, I'm afraid, is bad driving, to be honest, from Toxic, if I've got to have an opinion on that. ILRT Louis though leads. Thomas in 2nd, Ginger in 3rd, Calzo in 4th. A little bit of an unclean lap 1.
Yeah, a little bit of a crazy lap 1, that incident between Ghost and Toxic. I think actually Toxic got a little bit caught out by his teammate coming across and having to go into the pit lane for front wing damage. So I think that's what actually caused that squeeze between the 2 of them. Absolute disaster on the first lap there for TCG. 3 of their 4 drivers with front wing damage
disaster for TTG, and it's not really good. I think it might have been actually Vaporon that came across. I'm not sure. We'll have to review the footage, and I'm sure the stewards will have a look at that one. Janel trying to get onto the back of Verstappen in the meantime. About 0.3 of a second separating this mid-pack battle between the KVR team and the LRT team, and LRT Janel making good progress through the field. He's gained 5 positions early, so was top 6 positions gained for Deneen, the most gained out on track. But it looks like Calzo might be setting up a move on Ginger to run down towards Stowe. And the LR man, pretty much the top 6 have remained as they are. And I think that's just a credit, really, to what happened in behind.
Yeah, I think the chaos has let, obviously, the top 8 at this moment get away. Got to keep an eye out for Dropshire, though. Great stuff for Dropshire. Started 11th, was on the mediums. He's managed to keep hold of this top pack. And he's obviously on the slower tyres, so he'll be on the better tyre at the end of the race. He is in a great position for a good result today. And he's keeping up with his teammate as fast as that for Louis. But I think Campbell's starting, I think the QVR man of Campbell is starting to lose touch a little bit with those in front, especially with Kaz showing a bit more pace than Hugo. I think they're all starting to bunch up a little bit, and the QVR guys are starting to drop back a little bit, but still Dropshire in a really good position.
Toxic down the inside of Janel, trying to get the move done in towards the loop. Through turn 4 now, Janel on the inside line. The LRT man battles back, but TTG on the outside line. TTG Toxic against Janel, running down the Wellington straight as we come towards Brooklands and Luffield once again. Toxic on the outside line, Janel on the inside line. Janel is still there fighting, but Toxic is through around the outside and onto the inside line through Luffield. He gets the move done, he's up to 12.
Yeah, brilliant move from Toxic. He set that one up a few corners before he actually eventually made the move, but all of the TTG hopes at the moment kind of rest on him, to be honest, and he's obviously dropped a little bit far off, but people in front they're starting to battle a little bit. Cohen, Deneen, Verstappen and Toxic should be able to keep up with those guys relatively easily, so it'll be interesting to see what he can do for TTG at this point. Up front, it's still relatively close together. However, Thomas is starting to put a little bit of pressure on his teammates, so Lewis hasn't driven away from the pack like he did in the 2 races last time out. It'll be interesting to see whether he can do that in the second stint, but Thomas at this point in time looks like he's got the pace to keep with his teammate.
Dropkier and Cohen both into the pits. I think both of them on a set of softs. No, sorry, mediums for Dropkier. Cohen going on for a set of soft compound tyres. So both of them are in, and Deneen had just got the move done actually on Dropkier, so he got up into 8th position for that move before all these guys came into the pits. Cohen and Gulls also into the pits as well. I thought Lewis, yeah, I've got to really reiterate what you said there. I think Thomas is the quicker man out on track, and he certainly looked quicker in particular in that final sector, last lap around. Let's see if the Lithuanian can maybe try and spoil the party here. Who is the ILRT first man out on track, I wonder? Well, you'll have to watch and see, really. Ginger in 3rd, Calzo in 4th. I've got to say, as I say, the top 6 really close towards each other, and Kaz is doing a good job for the PMP team. They need a good result, and currently 2 drivers in the top 6.
Yeah, they're showing really well. It's really kind of a mix of two teams at the moment in the top 8. In the top 7 at the moment is a mix of 2 from 4 teams at the moment. Is 2 ILRTs, 2 MPs, 2 LRs, and before his pit stop it was 2 QVRs. So a real mix of drivers at the front. So I wonder if any team orders are going to come to it. But I'm going to say the same thing as well. Thomas looks like the faster man at this point. Is anyone going to come in? I think everyone's going to stay out. Or no, the 2 Livid racing cars are into the pit lane. So Calzo and Hugo both make pit stops relatively early compared to those around, and Campbell's also in as well in the QVR team, so they're going to try and get the undercut on the 2 PMP and the ILRT cars.
I think Deneen was trying to go around the outside of Stowe when we came on board there. Verstappen into the pits just ahead of him, so obviously those 2 guys were battling just before those guys were coming into the pits. I've just dropped on board actually with Navy and Cohen out on track. They're quite close together, 6.5 tenths, so it looks like now Cohen on the fresher mediums is beginning to lengthen away through the corners, but down the straight Navy trying to get in. He's not going to be close enough, however, for the move. We flick through. ILRT Louis leading from Thomas in 2nd. But maybe these 2 are just beginning to run a bit of a conservative race for the ILRT team, and of course, if these 2 are teammates out on track, of course we're running the multiplayer cars, but if these 2 are teammates out on track, one of them is going to have to blink first.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a case of what strategy they think is better, whether they think the undercut or the overcut is the stronger strategy, and whether Thomas thinks that he has the pace to pass his teammate and take the win himself. Just a note on all the people that pitted, Campbell's both QVR cars have lost a little bit of time, so Campbell's nearly 3 seconds off the back of the two Livid Racing cars, and Dropfield was actually held up in the pit lane on his pit stop, and he's dropped back behind his teammate. So
Thomas.
Yeah, he was very close, wasn't he? He thought about the move, but not quite close enough. Is Thomas going to pit? He is, yeah. So it stays out. Ginger's in as well. Yeah.
Kaz, interestingly, staying out. Yeah, ILRT Yano beginning to get closer. Oh, go on. What we said?
Yeah, that's just to say the two teams have completely split their strategies. So one ILRT and one PMP stay out, the other two come in. Which I think is what Livid Racing personally should have done. I think they should have split their strategies and hope for possibly one of them to get at the front and one of them to be a little bit further in their pack and make some moves themselves. But they seem to think that... Oh, yeah.
On the exit of Beckett's, that is, actually. Before the hanger straight. Terror Racer's right on the back of Colesbury as well. I was just coming onto this battle, actually, between them both. Saw Deneen off. Could be past Deneen. Deneen has got gravel on his tyre. Colesbury up the inside. Finn and the Irishman. Tiny bit of lag there, but the Irishman is ahead. So Colesbury just having to relinquish position. And he's on fresher tyres, but Colesbury dives it up the inside through Valen Club. Don't think that was going to work. And he's let both PMP drivers through as well. Colesbury think he's just got to take it a little bit calmer out on track. Otherwise, I think he would have got that move done.
Yeah, so it was from a long way back, and Deneen left him space. I think Colesbury just ended up...
Oh, down the inside! Yordi on Terror Racer. That's team orders.
Back of Terror Racer. Yeah, Colesbury just hit the back of Terror Racer as well in that corner, and Terror Racer's going to force. Colesbury had a road at this point. These two are a little bit too close together at this point. They're really starting to lose time. They've already dropped over a second off the back of the two of them in front in those two corners. But yeah, Colesbury a little bit over aggressive. I think he's just got to calm it down and wait for a move that he knows.
Oh no! No way! Round the outside of Luffield. Colesbury has got to be kidding. Trying to go around the outside of Luffield. Oh, and they make contact. That was never going to work, and both of them are out of the race. Colesbury just being a little bit too on the power, I think, to be honest. He looked like he nearly got the move done, but trying to go around the outside was never going to work there. Calzo's right on the back of Ginger as well. This is currently for a net P4 out on track, with Kaz and Louis both into the pit, and Calzo not getting that move stuck, but we're right on board with him as he comes through onto the left-hander, through Vale and into Club. Can Ginger get this? Can he defend this position well? But the two LR drivers right on the back, out on track.
Coming out the pit lane. This is Thomas. Thomas is ahead. Thomas is ahead.
Oh, they're going to be really close. Kaz is behind these guys.
Whoa. Kaz has dropped behind. Yeah, the undercut seems to have worked so far.
Oh, he's down the inside.
Oh, Hugo saw it come in and left in the space. Good driving from Hugo. Oh, and Kaz gets a bit of a poor exit as well. He's not able to quite make the move stick. But yeah, Thomas undercut his teammate, and the two ILRT cars have now gapped those behind him.
Calzo down the inside of Ginger through Brooklands. Can he get the move done? He can't. Gonna try it on the switchback. Not quite. Droppier's gone through on Campbell as well. I think that's team orders there for the two KVR boys out on track. But Thomas, interestingly, we said earlier on that they were the quicker, that he was the quicker driver out on track. It's been proven because he's now in the lead of the race. But I'll tell you what, a four-car battle for third is beginning to develop because Ginger and Kaz essentially have sandwiched the two LR drivers out on track. It's that bread, essentially, the ends of the bread where you get for the PMP cars, and then the filling right in the middle, which is the LR cars. I think that's a good food analogy there. Calzo down the inside of Ginger trying to get the move done, and he has. Good move there by Calzo, getting the move done. Ginger just on the power there, a little bit too much, just nearly caught the back of him, but down in towards Vale and Club once again, and there stays the arse of Calzo up to third. Good move.
Yeah, really good move from Calzo. He had the run coming out of Maggots and Beckett's. He definitely had the overspeed, so the move was done pretty much before the corner. So good move from Calzo. Let's see if he can try and catch back up to the two ILRT cars, but they've gapped themselves from those behind. So is it the time for ILRT to start pulling away now? Or will the others be able to catch up as Hugo and Kaz are now side by side? I think Hugo's just fended that one off again. Just a word on QVR as well. They've got 3 cars in a row, but they've dropped off the back of this fight, unfortunately. They've just not quite got the pace to keep up with the 6 in front of them. But still a good showing for QVR.
Ginger trying to go around the outside there through Brooklands. He's now down the inside line nearly through Luffield trying to get the move done. I was just running on board. Yordi's got past Deneen further down the field in 14th position. Yordi got the move done. I think it was on the run down towards the Hanger Straight. That's where he got that move done. So he's up into 14th position. But PMP, I think it's just a matter of time, to be honest, where this pack of 4 begins to split apart and we get 2 separate battles between 3rd and 4th and 5th and 6th. Council has got to do everything in his power to try and defend, but these guys are now stuck in that DRS train, and it's going to be so difficult, I think, for Hugo and Kaz especially, to try and get past. No move getting pulled off there. Louis beginning to come into his element, I think. 4.5 tenths behind Thomas out in front, and we come on to lap 9. If you're just tuning in to Esports Mini League 1, yes, this is not Kieran McGinley. I'm James Head filling in for Kieran here tonight, and team orders for the lead of the race as Louis goes through on Thomas. So Thomas, interestingly, letting Louis through. I wonder if they heard me about 10 seconds ago.
Possibly they might have done, absolutely, but that's a little bit of a shock to me because I think they were running fine just as they are, to be honest. I think Thomas and Louis had pretty similar pace, so they were running relatively well and they were still pulling away from the people in front, so I don't understand necessarily why they would slow each other up and let each other through, because that's cost them a little bit of time. But at the moment they're still comfortably out in front, so maybe I'll eat my own words and haven't really affected themselves too much. But yeah, that battle for 3rd, I think it's going to stay as a 4-car battle for the time being. I think at the moment Calzo doesn't have the pace to pull away, and I don't think Hugo and Kaz are any slower than Ginger and Calzo in front, so I think they're going to be able to keep up and make this a 4-way fight for 3rd.
Council, to be honest, is just they're all keeping these gaps very consistent, I think, these 4 drivers out on track, and it is going to possibly let Droppier and Campbell in. Bit of a mistake there from Council. Ginger around the outside of him. This is going to let the door wide open, wider than a church door being open right here. Hugo trying to go down the inside on Ginger. Can he get the move done into Stoll? This is on board with Council's point of view. Ginger hangs it around the outside, and he has the traction around the outside. Lap pressure tyres coming into play, and the PMP man is through, and he's up to 3rd. And Calzo dropping down past Hugo as well.
Yeah, a little bit of a mistake from Calzo. It's cost him 2 places. He smartly let his Livid Racing teammate through as well, so that he could try and have a run at Ginger, which didn't quite pay off. But Hugo was all over the back of Ginger. Is he going to go for moving to turn 3?
No, he'll wait for the DRS.
Yeah, he's going to wait for the DRS zone.
Caused a little bit of a Constantino effect in behind there as Kaz is trying to get down the inside of Calzo. That is a late move by Kaz. I think he had the entitlement to do, because both of the LR guys just had that little bit of a Constantino effect out on track, and Calzo has lost another position to Kaz. There might be, I think, a few words about that later on.
Yeah, there was a little bit of contact, but like you said, I think Kaz was definitely entitled to the move. There was plenty of space, and he didn't completely outbrake himself. I think it was just unfortunate that I don't think Calzo really saw that one coming. So good move from Kaz, and he's up to 5th. Maybe you can keep up with the 2 in front. I think Calzo's starting to struggle a little bit on those older mediums. He's not quite got the pace of the 3 in front of him at this point.
You would imagine, though, that Kaz could try and get past Hugo and then get past his teammate, because obviously Hugo now stuck in that PMP sandwich that we were on about earlier on, albeit on a smaller scale. Hugo getting the much better exit out of onto the Hanger Straight, and now Ginger is under all sorts of pressure from Hugo, and he's dropped Kaz for the time being. Hugo with the speed around the outside, beautiful move around the outside of Stoll. Surely he's got this one done, and he has, and Hugo round, and he's through up to P3. But these 4 beginning to battle, just beginning to let the QVR guys catch up. 8 tenths gained on this lap for them.
Yeah, they've gained even more time, and Thomas is still keeping with Louis, so they are just incredibly level pace at this point. That neither one of them is faster than the other, and I think the DRS is helping them keep tabs on each other. So I think just great. It just goes to show how strong that ILRT lineup is, to have 2 really fast guys just pulling away out front. Yeah, Hugo, he's made the move stick. It looks good, but Ginger's got another good exit. He's got a good exit coming onto the Wellington Straight. Let's see if we can get him down into Brooklands. He's got the overspeed.
He's got the speed. Surely down the inside.
Yeah, Hugo lets him through. I think Hugo saw that one coming in, didn't want to fight it too much and lose too much time, so set Ginger back through into P3. Ginger had a little bit of a tough time last week. He qualified well and had good races, but a couple of mistakes cost him a number of positions in both races. But this time round, he's showing really well, and he's on for a possible podium. So Ginger really stepped up his game so far this week.
took that flat out through Cops and really gained the time in towards Maggots and Beckett. Hugo and Kaz just beginning to catch back up. But these four guys are beginning to catch. Campbell, by the way, has gone past through on Droppier. I think that was down Wellington Straight where he got that move done clean on his teammate. Kaz, though, right on the back of Hugo. We could have three wide into Stowe here. Kaz right on the back. He's going to be boxed in here. Ginger on the inside line, Hugo all the way around the outside. They're still side by side. We take this from Kaz's point of view. Hugo on the inside line, Ginger on the outside line, now through Vale and Club. And that's a great move by Hugo, the Frenchman, pulling off the move. And that is up into third position. These four cars are battling really great out on track.
Yeah, these four are really, really good clean battling. And Ginger and Hugo have almost had an absolute repeat of the last lap. Hugo did pretty much exactly the same move last time round. Ginger led him through, and then Ginger got it back on the straight. So I wonder if Ginger's going to get a good enough exit to do the same thing this time round. Let's see if he's got the overspeed. I think Hugo's a little bit further ahead this time round, so it's a bit of a harder job for Ginger this time round to get him into Brooklands.
Thomas right on the back of Louis coming in towards Brooklands there. He was nearly going to have a go at his teammate there. That could have been quite a spectacle to see. And Ginger, yeah, you're right, not getting through on Hugo. They're going to have to wait, I think, for the hanger straight to really try and get off the move. Are we seeing ILRT? No, we're not. We're going to see an RLRT battle. I thought we were going to see RLRT team orders the other way around this time. We're on the penultimate lap, by the way, here in Mini League 1. And thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. James Head and Aidan Carter, of course, taking you through this one. ILRT Louis leads. Thomas second. Hugo third. Ginger fourth. Kaz in fifth. Calzo in sixth. Campbell, Droppier, Verstappen, Toxic top 10, Janul for ILRT down in 11th, Cohen in 12th, Yordi 13th, Navy, Ghost, Danine and Vaporon. Interesting, I think he's going to go for the fastest lap of the race. I don't think there is a fastest lap point available. That was the quickest rundown I think I've ever had. Ginger is on the back of Hugo out on track. And final lap, tell you what, Mini League 1, race 1 in Britain has been quite good so far.
Yeah, it's definitely been a good race so far. Hopefully it's the same for the final lap, but yeah, these third through sixth, inseparable pretty much this entire race. I think obviously ILRT were there at the start. Oh, Hugo touches the grass. Really well held from Hugo. That could have been catastrophic for him if it racing, but that's put Ginger right on the back of him again, and Ginger's going to try and get a really good run. He's got an incredible run coming onto the Wellington Straight, so surely this has moved on for Ginger down into Brooklands. Is Hugo going to defend? No, he doesn't. He's going to probably wait until the hanger straight, so Ginger's back up to P3.
Yeah, Ginger getting the move done down the inside. Kaz was trying to filter through there as well, not letting the two PMP guys get through in the same corner. But Ginger's through and he's up to third position. Thomas right on the back of ILRT Louis. There are battles happening further down the field as Toxic begins to catch on Verstappen. He's lost a lot of time on that set of soft compound of tyres. Sure, Droppier actually was on a set of softs. He's got through, I think, on Verstappen, and that's why we've seen that move pulled off. But ILRT Louis now coming through with Thomas in behind him, down the hanger straight for the final time, and ILRT Louis I think is going to be getting another win out on track. Vaporon picks up a 3-second time penalty. I think that's the only 3-second time penalty we might have seen in this race. ILRT Louis though coming round the final couple of corners. It has been a very dominant performance I think from the two ILRT boys out on track, and ILRT Louis across the line to take the win here in Britain. Thomas in second. Whoa. Just going to filter through. What on earth's happening in behind? Kaz trying to go the lunge down the inside. He's got him around the outside. Oh, he had the penalties, but he had him around the outside. I'm not sure what happened there. I think you were in the best place to really tell us what happened there.
I think I wasn't quite sure myself because I was on board with Calzo when that happened. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think that might have been Kaz made a little bit of contact with the back of Hugo into Vale, I believe, and that put Hugo offline. I think that may have been what happened. Obviously, we'll have to check afterwards and see if the stewards can pick up on that one. But unfortunately, the penalties dropped him down a number of places. So even if that move was pulled off, which was a good move on the outside, it's still cost him a lot of places at this point. So Ginger comes home in P3.
Yeah, Ginger P3, Kaz dropping down to 8th position behind 2 of the QVR members. What is that going to do to the points? I do not know. Hopefully we've got some mathematician there in the comment section that can work them out in quick time. We're giving Vaporon a little bit of airtime though. The TTG man is coming around the final couple of corners now through Stowe, and he's looking, hopefully, to set the fastest lap, but he is running out of fuel towards the end of this lap. Vaporon now through the final 2 corners, and he's going to collect for 17th place. Not the strongest drive, I've got to be honest, from for the TTG team. Navy down in 13th and Vaporware in 17th, and of course Carlsbury out of the race as well. I think Toxic was their best placed driver in 9th, if I recall.
Yeah, a bit of a shocking race for TTG. One driver out of the race, and a number of them were damaged on the first lap, so they've got to make up for it in the next race. They've got some catching up to do.
It's that man again. It's Brendan Louis, who has taken the race win here in Britain. And look, Brendan Louis. Yeah.
Brendan Louis.
Brendan Louis.
That will do. That will do. A mix of the two of them.
Always mention it in my Division 1 streams for League of Europe when he wins a race. And another performance to really excel on. Thomas finishing in 2nd and finishing in 3rd in the end, of course, was PMP Ginger. So, at the end of race 1, we've still got another round to come up in Mexico. And if you thought the overtaking was good here in Silverstone, then you're going to have to wait for Mexico, because I think it'll be twice as good. Louis then takes the win for the RRT team. It's a 1-2 for the RRT team, and they just assert their dominance even further. 1st and 2nd for Louis and Thomas. Ginger in 3rd with Hugo in 4th. Cowsell in 5th, drove well, the Scotsman. From Campbell in 6th, getting ahead of Droppier late on. Kaz dropping down to 8th. Toxic in 9th, Verstappen in 10th. Cohen in 11th, so good showing there actually by all 4 KVR members. Yanel in 12th, Navy, Deneen, Yordi, who got past Ghost quite late on. Vaporon down in 17th, and Terror Racer and Carlsbury getting caught up in that contact. Unfortunately, the 2 DNFs, which means they score 0 points out on track.
Ooh, that is such a shame for them. Yeah, hopefully for the likes of TCG, they can have a bit of a better showing. But yeah, Livid Racing and PMP, 2 very strong races for them. So they've kind of put themselves out front in that battle for 2nd at this point. QVR and GTG just left a little bit lagging behind, but maybe they can make up for it in Mexico.
Hopefully we can. Hopefully they will be able to make it up in Mexico. Let's have a look then at some of the comments that are coming through. Plenty of comments actually coming through. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this, the esports mini league tonight, and you're adhering to your social distancing, of course. We certainly are in the commentary box tonight. But here in Mexico, it is a whole different track. We've got a former baseball stadium section out on track. We have got 3 DRS zones out on track as well here in Mexico at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. That's my best pronunciation, I think I'll do all night. 3 DRS zones. The opportunity for overtaking here should be limitless.
Absolutely, this is definitely a great, a really brilliant track for racing. There's a number of great overtaking spots, and this track is it's kind of a level playing field really, because this track it has kind of a mix really of different sections. It has a mix of high speed, it has a mix of flowing sections, and then slow speed, so it can bring out the best and worst in pretty much every driver. So we should have a really close grid this time.
I think we should have a really close grid, and hopefully we are going to see all teams deliver out on track, and I'm sure you guys as the viewers will be wanting to make your feelings aware within the comments section. Of course, do put some comments in the comments section if you've got any questions, of course, or any support for the drivers out on track.